Howdy, y'all. I'm Justin.
And I'm Kim.
Welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the podcast where we talk about Taylor Swift and her music. Yeehaw. Hello, and welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the only podcast where Bigfoot refuses to pay child support to the Loch Ness Monster for his illegitimate bastard son, Charles. Today, we are talking about paper rings from Lover. But first, we have poll results for you. The people voted, and you gave Evermore 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Which I believe was the exact same score I gave it.
Yeah.
So,
not unexpected.
It's just nice to win one. Do you have any other pod business to get to? Okay, well, Gremlin and Charlee will be on later to talk about the song. So, we'll put that in at some point. But until then, let's just get into the news. News from around the Taylorverse. Taylor is currently in Singapore performing, is it 6 nights? I believe so.
Yes, it is.
6 shows in Singapore, the island city-state in Southeast Asia. The mashups have continued. Can you tell us about those? Were there any that jumped out at you?
There have been at least 2 a night, so we've gotten 6. So I can't even remember all of them at this point, but none that really jumped out at me that were crazy. They all are definitely following a pattern. So if it, like I said before, if it's any indication of what this new album is going to be, we're all fucked.
And in Singapore, we got the announcement of the 4th and allegedly final variant of the Tortured Poets Department vinyl. It is called the Black Dog Edition, and it is one of 4. The manuscript, the bolter, the albatross, and now finally the black dog. 4 variants, 4 bonus tracks.
There have been some theories that are floated that it followed a color gradient, which that is accurate. It has. Each release has gotten a little bit darker, but that they were representative of the different stages of grief, and that the black one might be Reputation. Now, it's the black dog. It's the black one. And Taylor has said that this is the last variation. That doesn't mean that Reputation still can't be associated in some way, shape, or form. It's just not considered a variant of this album, which I think is understandable.
Sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Could still be coming, though. Could still be a double drop in that sense.
For anyone out there who is unfamiliar with British/Irish folklore, the black dog, if you see it, it's a omen of death.
There is also a bar, I think it's in London, but in England somewhere, called the Black Dog, that people think they might have gone to. By they, I mean Taylor and Joe.
Well, there you go.
So it may have multiple meanings.
Couple of data points for you.
Yeah.
Maybe they broke up at the Black Dog.
Maybe they did.
Maybe that was where their relationship died.
Who's to say?
Who's among us? Lisa, one of the members of Blackpink, attended one of the Singapore shows, and she took pictures with Taylor. Everybody was very excited about that. The K-pop folks were excited. And we heard rumors this week that Singapore paid $18 million to ensure that Taylor did not play in any other South Asian countries. All her South Asian shows exclusively in Singapore. Culture Minister Edwin Tong came out and said that the number was, quote, nowhere near that high, but he declined to give an actual number, and he did, admit that they did pay for that exclusivity.
I was going to say, Edwin, that is the way to stir the pot, my guy.
Both Thailand and the Philippines have expressed distaste for the move publicly. They and Singapore and a bunch of other Southeastern nations are part of a sort of like NATO, but it's got a different acronym that I can't remember. Strategic Alliance and everything. And yeah, it's a major party foul on Singapore's part. So, you hate to see that. Thailand and the Philippines say that they'll learn from it and they'll be ready next time. So hope you're ready for a bidding war, my guy, because they're coming. Mr. Travis Kelce is expected to arrive in Singapore shortly, maybe tonight as we record this podcast. I saw it this morning that he was on his way, so he's probably there soon.
Yes, as we record, we are at the start of the second trio of nights in Singapore, and he was not at the last set, but that's because he had other business.
Yep, but he'll be there shortly. Speaking of things that'll be here shortly, the Eras Tour film.
Oh, yeah.
We got a trailer and a new release date. It was pushed up, was it a day?
3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours, yep.
3 hours. It will now be available Thursday, March 14th at 9 p.m.
And that is Eastern Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Here's just a little bit of clownery for you to go back to talking about Reputation and how it could be associated. Spoiler alert, we're not going to take a trip to the corner. Here's just a brief clownery for you. So, if you refer back to many episodes ago, I shared my theory that I think she's going to announce Reputation Taylor's version's release date at the very end of the Eras Tour movie once it goes on streaming.
Yep.
So now we have a date for streaming. It's coming out on the 14th, and it goes, or it was supposed to come out on the 15th, and then it goes from being on the 15th to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the 14th, which the movie itself is about 3 hours long. So when you get to the end of it, it will be midnight on the 15th if you watch it starting at 9 p.m.
Okay.
So why lead it up to midnight? Why push it back to 9 p.m. the night before if nothing's happening at midnight on the 14th? Something's got to be happening on midnight on the 15th.
Do you think it's the announcement, or do you think it's a drop now?
I think it's an announcement that... I think it could either be a drop or an announcement that it's dropping with TTPD. But I think it could potentially be a drop so that she only has to relive the Reputation era for 1 month until she moves on. Either way, the other reason... March 15th has been coming up, like 3s and 15s have been coming up a lot recently in little Easter eggs she's been leaving. So that has a lot of people talking about this happening. But especially now that there's Time, and specifically Taylor Nation and all the other outlets saying 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But when Taylor posted it on her Instagram, she specifically said 6 p.m. Central Time. Or whatever. No, not Central Time. Sorry. Pacific Time. So why use what time it is in California? Why use the time it's going to be in California versus everyone else using Eastern Time? Because that's what most people go off of is Eastern Time. A lot of people think it's Taylor looking to use the 6 specifically because Reputation was the 6th album.
That would make sense.
So yeah, anyway.
Well, we'll all find out next week. Shouldn't be long. Well, this week, as you're listening to this, it's coming out later this week.
Yep.
In more lighthearted news, Pop-Tarts has issued a challenge to Miss Swift this week. As we learned, Taylor made some homemade Pop-Tarts and gave them to the Kansas City Chiefs offensive lineman. And this week, Pop-Tarts took out a full-page ad in the Kansas City Star, the local paper in KC, challenging Taylor to, quote, release the recipe. They have pledged to donate money to a local food bank in honor of Taylor and Travis, and they claim that they will double that amount that they're going to donate if, and only if, Taylor releases the recipe.
I feel like this is when we learn that Taylor doesn't come up with her own recipes, like she's a Pinterest girly. And I feel like we already know that. We're just clowning ourselves if we think that she makes up her own recipes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just, Pop-Tarts, and she put them in a toaster oven and then brought them.
Homemade Pop-Tarts are a thing. People have made recipes for that before, but I just don't think Taylor has the time on her hands to be crafting her own recipe for Pop-Tarts.
I can't imagine. She's a very busy lady.
Yeah.
Speaking of ladies, there used to be a woman long ago named Emily Dickinson. She's one of the great poets in American history, and Taylor has on multiple occasions made reference to the fact that she's a fan of hers. Most prominent example perhaps was from back in 2022 when Taylor was making a speech at an award show, and she said, "If my lyrics sound like a letter written by Emily Dickinson's great-grandmother while sewing a lace curtain, that's me writing in the quill genre." Ancestry, the genealogy company, revealed this week that Taylor and Miss Dickinson are sixth cousins, thrice removed. What exactly that means, I was too lazy to look up.
They share...
Distantly.
Yeah.
Related.
It's like Taylor's great-great-great-grandfather. So many times great-grandfather is Emily Dickinson's great-great-grandfather.
I will take your word for that. That sounds fine to me. They are distant relations. Anyway. Yeah.
They share a granddad. Is what I know. what I remember from reading.
On Super Tuesday, this past Tuesday, Taylor urged her followers to make their voices heard, saying, quote, "Today, March 5th, is the presidential primary in Tennessee and 16 other states and territories. I wanted to remind you guys to vote the people who most represent you into power. If you haven't already, make a plan to vote today." Contrary to right-wing fear-mongering, Taylor has not, as of this recording, endorsed any specific candidates or parties for the upcoming election. Madeline has a note there. They say, "It's weird considering she used Miss Americana doc to come out as a Democrat. Even she can't support old warmonger Joe with a straight face, lol." So...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it just very much seems like everybody's like, oh, Taylor's going to endorse Biden. Like, he even, or not he, I think it was Seth Meyers, mentioned it when Joe Biden was on his show. And was like, do you think Taylor's gonna promote you again? And Joe was like, I don't know, maybe.
Sure be cool if she did.
Yeah, I feel like Taylor's like, I just don't want to get into this anymore. I do want you to vote, but I don't want to be part of this narrative.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad. We're all gonna die in a few years anyway when the temperature gets too hot and we all fucking burn to death.
Sure.
So why worry about it, Scroll down a little bit, if you would. The brothers Kelce had a big week this week. First up, Jason Kelce, elder brother of Travis, longtime Eagles center and future Pro Football Hall of Famer, officially announced his retirement this week. And in his retirement speech, he peppered in several TS references, including All Too Well and Wildest Dreams.
Do you think that was, one, like a jab at Travis, trying to be funny because he's the older brother? Two, do you think he's that big of a Taylor Swift fan? Or do you think that his daughters have, since Taylor's been around, just been listening to her music nonstop, so the certain phrases are just ingrained in his brain?
Oh, I think it was a conscious choice.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was just him having fun, or specifically, winking at Travis and Taylor, or just, he seems like a fun guy who likes to have fun.
Yeah.
And he thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if he thought about it specifically.
I don't see it in our notes, but Taylor did send him flowers for his retirement.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
he responded to a tweet of someone asking, was Taylor supportive, or what was Taylor's response, or something like that. And he was like, she's been great, super nice, she sent me flowers, whatever.
That is great. On their podcast, New Heights, Travis talked about his trip to Australia to visit Taylor. And he said, quote, "It was amazing over there. I only went to Sydney. Got a lot of friends that I've met over the years in Melbourne."
Except he did say it like, Melbourne?
"We've been informed by the grass man that it is Melbourne."
Oh, we also do need to clarify, because I don't know that we said that he was over there, but he is from Australia. He is a native.
That's right. So he knows how it's pronounced. And it's Melbourne. Definitely want to get out there and see what Melbourne has to offer. Sydney was a beautiful city. It was cool to see all the exotic animals. It was fun. It was fun, man. There were full-on helicopters just flying around. This is all because Taylor is the biggest and the best thing possible.
Yeah, that was in response of Jason asking Travis if there were just drones hovering around everywhere they went. And Travis said, no, they had... He kind of said, like, they had us in full-on helicopters. And then he was like, I mean, they were using helicopters to survey us.
Yep. When you hang out with Taylor Swift, you're going to have that.
Yep.
Like my daddy always used to say, you're going to have that. Tell you what, though, the kangaroos are pretty sweet. And I got to see a red panda up close and personal. And then we got to enjoy the Taylor Swift show. Australians are pretty rowdy. They like to have a good time. I like to have a good time. They were just a little bit louder than the Argentina crowd. And I was not expecting that. Taylor's very fond of performing in Australia. You heard it, Argentina. Travis has called you out.
Do better.
Yep, you ain't shit. Australia's louder. So next time, y'all gotta be ready. And, finally, Reputation, Taylor's version. Despite the clownery, we are still waiting on an official Rep TV announcement. Haven't got it yet. But, according to People Magazine, Look What You Made Me Do TV is featured in the upcoming Apple TV Plus documentary about the New England Patriots. So, maybe we're getting close. Is that an indicator of anything? Who's to say?
Well, there other songs that she's released, or she has released other songs shortly ahead of the re-records for media like this before, so I think it's a good indicator.
It's not a bad indicator, that's for sure. Any other news you wanted to get into?
Nope.
Then let's move on to Chart Watch.
Our intro to something needs to be like really sensual. We gotta come up with a new like segment so it can be like Chart Watch.
Aww. Chart Watch. On the Billboard Artist 100, Taylor remained at number 1. On the Billboard Hot 100 Singles Chart, Cruel Summer dropped 3 spots to number 10, and Is It Over Now stayed put yet again at number 18. It's nailed on down there. It's staying at 18. That's where it's gonna be. That's like 4 weeks in a row, I think. On the Billboard Top 200 Albums chart, the chart is bleeding. Every single thing went down for Taylor this week. 1989 TV down 1 to number 7. Lover down 2 to number 9. Midnight's down 4 to number 13. Folklore down 3 to number 18. Reputation down 3 to number 24. Speak Now TV down 4 to number 33. Red TV is down 12 to number 43. Evermore down 10 to number 44. Fearless TV down 5 to number 63. And 1989 Stolen down 5 to number 70. It's all bad. It's all bad. Except 1989 Stolen, which continues to fall. Hooray!
Yes, that was the only positive.
Yep. But of course, once TGPD and our Rep TV comes out, Taylor will be back on top again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and this is the part where we would normally throw to the corner, but as Kimberly alluded to, we don't have one.
Not this week, but you got a little bit of clownery. You're welcome.
Yep, the circus is closed. So, let's jump right in to the song of the week, which is Paper Rings.
Paper Rings.
Paper Rings from Lover back in 2019. What a world, you know? COVID hadn't happened yet, although it was happening in China. We just didn't know about it.
Yeah, it was post 2016, but pre 2020, which was a weird time.
Yeah, it was
that chunk of time is weird.
It was pre-apocalypse, the last good time.
Nothing compares to the summer of 2016 though. That was the last time the world was actually like good and calm and nice.
It's true.
That summer was different. You had to have been there.
It all changed on September 11th, 2001.
That is true.
For me. Paper Rings was written by Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff and produced by the same. And here's a little quick note on the genre of this song. Because last week I said it was one of Taylor's more pop-punk offerings. And this is what Wikipedia classifies it as. Somebody threw a bunch of stuff at the wall because they don't know. Mm-hmm. Spoiler. Pop-punk / bubblegum / new wave / power pop / rockabilly / surf pop. All the things. Paper Rings contains multitudes. I do not hear rockabilly at all.
I was going to say I can see pop punk. Like, that argument is there. Bubblegum, for sure.
Right.
Power pop, for sure. Surf pop, I can see that argument. New wave, I don't know what the definition of new wave is enough to say. Rockabilly, absolutely fucking not.
So, just a note for the listeners out there. New wave is basically punk in the 80s when they discovered synthesizers.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think Paper Rings prominently feature synthesizers, so I don't really get that, but...
I mean, I feel like they probably just defaulted to that because Jack likes to use synthesizers.
He does, it's true.
So maybe they were just like, it falls into this because Jack's on it.
Well, whatever it is, it charted at number 45 on the Hot 100 and was certified double platinum in Australia and gold in the United Kingdom. What has Taylor said about it?
This is a song that me and Jack Antonoff basically wrote. Part of the template for what I wanted to do with some of the songs was imagining that I was a wedding band at a reception playing the love songs that the bride and groom wanted to hear in like 1978 or something. It's called Paper Rings. The whole song is just basically reminiscing on fun memories. And then in the chorus, it talks about how basically the concept of like your whole life, you talk with your friends about how like, oh my God, do you want to get married? What do you want your ring to look like? What kind of ring do you want? I don't know. I just feel like if you really love someone, you'd be like, I don't care. And so it talks about that concept as the hook. And in the bridge, there's some fun kind of punk, like inspired by punk girl groups and the way they used to sing, shouting them in a really unapologetic way. And so I made this one with Jack, and you can hear him counting in the chorus. That's how much we wanted to sound like a wedding band. This one's really fun. I really like this one. I need Taylor to form her friggin' thoughts before she says them out loud.
Indeed. Let's move on to the critical reception. How do the critics feel about Paper Rings?
Up Rocks with 2 X's.
Up Rocks!
Says a near perfect pop song.
Time called it a bright, jangly standout.
The New York Times called it bubbly and wise, vibrates with an almost nervous energy.
The Ringer called it one of Lover's defining songs, and they said it allows Taylor to sound giddily, unfashionably ecstatic.
Ben said Taylor and Jack's production chemistry gives Swift's Near the stomping support it deserves.
Yep. Variety called it a lighthearted and irresistible banger.
The Toronto Star said a deftly executed little love song, instantly infectious.
Billboard said its happy-go-lucky bubblegum vibe and showy hook make it an absolute blast.
Esquire called it one of Swift's strongest, simplest songs in ages.
LA Times called it as peppy as me, but a lot smarter, with a happy ending theme reminiscent of Swift's early songs like Love Story.
Pitchfork called it cute and then exhausting. I love that one.
The Guardian called it a new wavy misfire.
So the wave. Guardian is the one who labeled it new wave.
I guess so.
The Atlantic called it corny sock hop. I agree with that, but not in a bad way necessarily.
Yeah, sometimes corny, is fun. Campy.
It's what you're going for. Yeah, exactly.
On to the fan reception. Do the fans enjoy this song?
Well, Rob Sheffield,
Big boy Rob,
ranked it number 149 out of 243.
Bottom 100.
Yeah. He said, Paper Rings is a girl group tribute with a pop punk surge, a song Joey Ramone should have lived long enough to sing. I wake up in the night and watch you breathe. It is a bone tossed to all of us who still fall apart at the bridge of Last Kiss.
And r/Taylor Swift ranked it the 6th best song on Lover Survivor. So 6th out of 17 tracks.
Yeah, so between those two, it seems everybody kind of agrees. It's mid.
Well,
I mean, they're balancing each other out, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, Rob ranks it a little lower, r/Taylor Swift ranks it higher, so it falls in the middle somewhere.
That's true, but most of the critics seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true.
The last 3 notwithstanding.
I really meant the fans when I said everyone.
Yeah.
They're who really matter.
Let's jump into the lyrics, shall we? Verse number 1. The moon is high, like your friends were the night that we first met. Went home, tried to stalk you on the internet. Now I've read all of the books beside your bed. The wine is cold, like the shoulder that I gave you in the street. Cat and mouse for a month or 2 or 3. Now I wake up in the night and watch you breathe. So, nice little play on words with high to start. Words can mean 2 things, guys, right? The moon wasn't smoking weed, but his friends were.
The moon's friends were smoking weed?
That's right. The stars around the moon were blazing blunts, but the moon kids, the moon said no.
The moon was the designated driver.
The moon declined to be peer pressured, and that's what you have to do, okay? Just say no.
I love a simile.
Yep.
This song's full of them.
Joe's friends like to blaze a little blunts, you know? Mm-hmm. Who can blame them?
They're big fans of 420.
That's right. Taylor Swift at a weed party? Not her first rodeo, boys.
I think we all knew that, but okay.
Well, you wouldn't have known it from the reaction.
That's true.
That's true. Taylor occasionally drops lines in songs that make me wonder if the crazy version of herself she plays in Blank Space is really as satirical as it's portrayed, right? Interesting counterpoint between this song and I Bet You Think About Me. In that one, she's complaining about Jake, Dick and Balls, and his friends, talking about some book she's never heard of. But in this one, she seems invested enough to want to know what Joe likes and to try to get closer to him. And also, it goes to show what I said the other day. It only goes to strengthen my case. Joe Alwyn cannot lay the pipe for any significant length of time. Not that Joe would know anything about significant length. Am I right, ladies? Plenty of time for Taylor to read.
A little note from the Pod Gremlin. They said, fucking lol.
Yeah. I don't know why, because I don't write jokes out in advance. So, just psychic powers. No, I sometimes do, because sometimes past Justin has funny thoughts. Yeah, future Justin needs to make sure that he has it.
I know how that feels. You gotta make sure they get down, otherwise you'll lose them.
Yep. And then the rest of the verse, Taylor's just playing games, right? Cat and mouse in the month. For a month or 2 or 3, she likes to play a little hard to get, right? It's not healthy or mature to do it, Taylor. It's really not. You gotta stop. On to the pre-chorus, number 1. Kiss me once, because you know I had a long night. Kiss me twice, because it's gonna be all right. 3 times, because I waited my whole life.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jack's counting here is a very pop-punk thing. I don't know why, but it is. See, for example, Fall Out Boy's Grand Theft Auto.
Note from Pod Gremlin. It makes it feel like a live performance, but a quiet, intimate one. Like hearing a garage band along with all 30 people versus hearing a pop star along with 50K.
That's right. It gives you that live wedding band feel that Taylor was going for. Chorus. I like shiny things, but I'd marry you with paper rings. That's right. Darling, you're the one I want, and I hate accidents, except when we went from friends to this. That's right. Darling, you're the one I want. In paper rings, in picture frames, in dirty dreams. Oh, you're the one I want. Is Taylor Swift secretly a flock of crows in a woman suit? Is that a conspiracy theory we can get started? I think we should. Because crows, much like Taylor, like shiny things. Right?
Yeah, I see it. I definitely see her being crows in a woman suit.
It's the long con. All you need is love, bro. You know? I don't need a fancy diamond. Easy to say when you are a billionaire.
That has always been my thing about this song. Is like, it is a cute idea to have in song form for the person who is like, genuinely can't afford a ring. And they're like, I don't care. I love you anyway. Either whatever. When you are the only person in the entire world who can actually afford a diamond.
Yeah, Taylor's riding on her private jet and she turns to her man and says, baby, we don't need material things. You know?
I like diamonds, but I don't need them. I can buy myself diamonds. I don't need them from you.
Sipping her Ace of Spades champagne, which costs like $1,000 a bottle. Just having a good time.
Yeah.
And finally, is Taylor a sex haver? Because I think the evidence is beginning to mount up.
Just now?
That Taylor Allison Swift, may be a dirty, filthy sex haver.
Yeah. I had that revelation in 2012 when I heard All Too Well for the first time.
Well, here's the thing, everybody. Here's the thing. Do you think doing sex is cool? It's not.
I was going to say, is that question for me or for the audience?
It's for the audience.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what's cool?
Staying in school, kids.
No, you know what's cool? Never having sex ever. Stay pure. Stay gold, pony.
Do whatever you want.
I mean, we've never had sex ever.
No, definitely not.
George is immaculately conceived.
We stole him. From someone else. We kidnapped him.
I'm just kidding. Have sex if you want to. Right?
Yeah.
Have sex if you want.
Literally do whatever you want, as long as it's legal. So
And you don't harm any other people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke weed if you want, as long as you're of age and it's legal in the state or country that you live in.
Yep. Verse number 2. In the winter, in the icy outdoor pool, when you jumped in first, I went in too. I'm with you, even if it makes me blue, which takes me back to the color that we painted your brother's wall. Honey, without all the X's, fights, and flaws, we wouldn't be standing here so tall. So Taylor has the same relationship with Joe as I have with my brother, in that if he's doing some stupid shit, I'm doing some stupid shit with him. We doing
We've talked
some
about this.
stupid shit. Because that's what you do. You know? That's how ride or die works. Right? You ride. And if you die, then so be it. And secondly, damn, a blue wall? Joe's brother? A blue wall? You wow for that one.
I would for sure date... what?
You would for sure date Joe's brother? You filthy adulteress.
No. But also apparently his girlfriend is really cool because she out here liking some tweets and some Instagram posts that are very shady towards Joe. So
Oh, she went there.
yep. No, what I was trying to say was I would 100% paint a wall blue. What I have a hard time imagining is Taylor and Joe doing common man labor.
Mm-hmm.
Painting walls for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like they saw it as like a cute artsy thing or something. Mostly I don't see Joe doing it. I see Taylor doing it for the hell of it to feel normal or whatever because she just bakes shit all the time and does weird shit like that. Makes crafts and stuff. Draws dumb little stars. But like Joe seems above that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they just thought it would be fun, but like Taylor has money. She could just be like, I'll pay somebody to paint your wall, that'll be fine.
Yeah, as much as no one has ever seen anything that Joe Alwyn's ever been in, it's safe to assume that he also has money.
Right.
And I don't think that his family is struggling. So.
Yeah. I don't think so either. I don't know if they actually did it or not. Maybe they just did a couple, sweeps of the roller just so they could get the Instagram thing going.
Right.
Ha fun day at the in-laws or whatever the hell. And without all the X's, fights, and flaws, we wouldn't be standing here so tall.
Oh, yeah.
Refers, or connects, I should say, to Evermore, The Bridge with Justin Vernon. We talked about it on the Evermore episode. Go listen to it if you haven't. But I just want to say that flaws are not necessary for a perfect relationship. Just look at me. I don't have any flaws, and I'm happily married. So.
That's okay, I have enough flaws for the both of us.
No. We're both perfect.
We're both perfect.
We're both perfect. Pre-chorus number 2. Kiss you once because I know you had a long night. Kiss you twice because it's going to be alright. 3 times because you waited your whole life.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh my goodness. They both waited their whole lives for one another. In the first one, it was I waited my whole life. And now in the second one, it's you waited your whole life. They've both been waiting. Can you imagine?
Also, those lines like, I've waited my whole life, you waited your whole life. It sounds like such abstinence purity culture. But then, like you said, in others, it's like, she fucks. So
yeah, we know she's a dirty sex haver, so I don't know.
So what is it?
Under the bridge. I want to drive away with you. I want your complications too. I want your dreary Mondays. Wrap your arms around me, baby boy. Getaway car? One has to wonder. Driving away with him in the getaway car. Perhaps. Ladies, I just want to say complications are for the birds. Just because a man is mentally ill doesn't make him interesting.
Oh my God, I don't know how many times we can preach that, but yeah.
Yep. He's not complicated. He just has a mental health disorder.
That he refuses to acknowledge.
Yep, that he refuses to seek treatment for. And it's not cute. You can't fix him because he has a chemical imbalance in his brain.
She can fix him. No, really, she can.
Tortured Poets Department reference. Course number 2. There's one different line. In paper rings and picture frames in all my dreams. Not just the dirty ones anymore. See? So it started off as a dirty sex thing.
Yeah, it started off hooking up.
Right? And now, though, it's love.
Right. Now it's forever.
Imagine such a thing. Let's get into our overall thought on this song. Kimberly, what have you got?
Overall, I think it's fun. As you will hear me say probably a few more times before this podcast is over, if it's ever over. I overplayed this song for myself, but I really liked it a lot when Lover first released. And if it is about Joe, which we know it is,
right,
then it makes it gut-wrenching. She was basically begging him to marry her. That's always how I've heard this song, as a plea of him putting off proposing to her, even though he knows that she wants it, to be like, I can't get you a diamond. You know, you deserve a diamond and I can't get that for you. And she's like, I will fucking marry you with paper rings. Just marry me. And he's like, no, but you deserve better.
Yep, I have to find the perfect one for you.
I can't supply the lifestyle that you need. And she's like, I don't need you to do that. I just need you to marry me. And he's like, no.
For me, it's a fun song. Pretty low stakes, but enjoyable, right? Real cute. Right up to the edge of cringe without going over it, in my humble opinion. Pitchfork disagrees.
Mm-hmm.
London Boy, in contrast, went way over right from the beginning. So, little comparison there. Levels of cringe.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what we know now about how their relationship turned out, it's a bit of a weird listen these days. Because like you say, I don't know, it just feels sad.
Yeah, when you first listen to it, like when Lover comes out, you listen to it and you're like, oh my God, it's so cute. They're so cute. They love each other so much. Like, and now you look at it and you go, Taylor loved him so much and he didn't reciprocate.
Yep. Joe all went at Taylor Swift's funeral. Taylor Swift? And I just want to say Taylor needs to put out a full pop punk record. If only to prove she can do it better than Olivia Rodrigo. He went there.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think we all know she can do that. I don't think we need to drag Olivia for that.
No, I like Olivia's music.
Yeah.
It's all love here.
I would also 100% take a pop punk record from Taylor.
Yep. And at this point, we're going to throw to the Gremlin, who's got an interview with junior friend of the pod, Charlee.
They're going to talk a little more about the song.
Pod Gremlin Maybe here with Gremlin Greets Guests. I've decided to call this segment as we are in our second week in a row. This week we're welcoming back junior friend of the pod, Charlee. Welcome back.
Hi, I am here once again. I really like doing this, so whether you like it or not, you are going to see more of me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. So, Charlee, we haven't talked to you since the Tortured Poets Department announcement. Are you excited for TS11?
Very! I am so excited about it. I didn't watch the Grammys, but I saw online at like 3 a.m. because I stayed up late for some reason. So that Taylor announced a new album, and I was like, rep? Oh, whole new album, let's go! Like, I was excited. Like, none of us were expecting that.
Nope. Very exciting. Coming out in April, and you've got an April birthday.
Exactly.
It's basically a birthday present for you.
I know, it's like a birthday present.
From Blondie herself.
How nice.
Well, Charlee, when given a list of our upcoming episodes, you specifically chose Paper Rings to feature on. What made you pick that song?
I just really like this song. It's like happy, it's upbeat. Whenever I'm in a bad mood, I just listen to it. It's just a very happy song.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely, and we'll get into that. What imagery comes to mind when you listen to Paper Rings?
Rings that are made of paper. I'm joking, no. I think of like happiness. That's all I think of because of how upbeat the song is. I just basically think of like all the Lover colors since it is on that album.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Colorful pastels, rainbow.
The prettiness.
Pretty butterflies, things like that. Yeah, no, this song definitely encapsulates that. I feel like this song is the same flavor as Bubblegum KK or KK Bubblegum from Animal Crossing.
KK Slider?
Yeah.
Where did you get...
It's the same flavor as that song.
Definitely.
It's got that upbeat happiness that...
That makes me want to play.
I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing recently. For our listeners, I'm currently working on a remodel of my Animal Crossing island to do Taylor Swift themed houses for my villagers. There are only 10, so I'm going to have to do some sort of something somewhere for the Tortured Poets department.
You can match them and rep together because they have similar styles.
They have similar styles, but I feel like I might do something standalone for Tortured Poets.
It feels like it'll be like Evermore and Folklore, like another sister album to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I already have the Evermore cabin and the Folklore cabin off in some woods, so maybe do something there. But yeah, it's Paper Rings, I feel like, gives me that nostalgia, that happiness, that pop vibe. I feel like you can't sit still while listening to this song. It is driving, it is fast, it is going.
I can't sit still to any song, so that's no exception.
Valid. Absolutely. What are some of your favorite parts of the songs? Lyrics, music, vibes?
I really like the lyrics. The lyrics are good. A part that I like is, I hate accidents except when we went from friends to this. I like that lyric so much.
Yeah, that shows an unintentional falling in love. Not that this isn't something she planned to do, it's just something that was a happy accident.
Another one I like is, which takes me back to the color that we painted your brother's wall. Honey, without the X's, flights, and flaws, we wouldn't be standing here so tall.
Yeah, absolutely. That imagery is there with the painting of the blue walls. And that's something, I mean, thinking about spending time with his brother that's personal. That's bringing him home to meet family. That's upgraded to a next level of dating.
Okay. The last lyric that I feel like is special to me is, I want to drive away with you. I want your complications too. I want your jury Mondays. Wrap your arms around me, baby boy. That's just sweet. It
absolutely is. I mean, life has its ups and downs, and finding a partner that is willing to ride those waves with you is really important.
And hard.
And absolutely difficult. Taylor's done it several times. Most people do throughout their lives. Yeah, I mentioned that this song feels like the song Bubblegum KK from Animal Crossing, but this song literally feels like bubblegum, like childhood, like upbeat, nostalgia, excitement. That bubblegum pink comes to mind.
You're making me think of the days when I was actually happy.
Hush. No. They're happy, like we discussed before. There are highs and lows to life and the waves that come and go, and that's how existence is and how it will be for the rest of your life. So we rate every Taylor Swift song on a 1 to 10 scale.
Yep.
1 is very bad, 10 is very good, 5 is very mid, per Justin.
Of course.
Charlie, what would you rate Paper Rings on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd rate it maybe 7.5.
Solid, a 7.5. I'll tell you, Justin does not like it when we use decimals, but I love it.
Justin.
Why does it get a 7.5?
I just feel like it's very good. It's very happy, very upbeat. It does have some flaws, like the music kind of spaces out sometimes in the song. That's what I feel. Like,
valid.
It's not the like, some of the lyrics are a little bit, but it's a decent song, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I am a, pop punk nostalgia kid on this one. I give this one a 10. This is one of my 10 out of 10 on the Lover album. I've got a couple on that one. This is peak bubblegum pop, joy-filled mania music in the best way. Taylor knocked it out of the park with this one, in my opinion. I'm glad that she does not have an entire album that is this style, because that would be exhausting. It would be
radio blast.
Yeah, it would be too fast, too in your face, too
overwhelming.
It would be overwhelming. It would be overstimulating. But I love it for a one shot, and that's why Paper Rings gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Charlie, thanks for being back on the pod. We've got the next quarter coming out soon. We're going to be looking at our next songs that are coming up this spring when we can have you back. Happy to have you. Any last words for our listeners?
Now remember, find someone that will drive away with you. want your complications too. And your Jury Mondays. Goodbye, everybody.
Solid. Thanks for being here, Charlie.
Welcome. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
See you next time.
And now, let's give it a rating. For those of you who may not know, we rate every song on a 1 to 10 scale. 1 is very bad, 10 is very good, 5 is very mid. Kimberly, how do you rate Paper Rings?
I'm giving the song a 6. Like I said, when we talked about the other fan reception, I think that if you tallied it all up, I would fall in the majority of that. This song is pretty mid. Madeline is wild for their rating. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Madeline is out of pocket, but we knew that. I am going to give it a 7 because I enjoy it. Like Kimberly, I overplayed it for myself a bit when Lover first came out, but it's still a good song. Enjoyable to listen to. I don't skip it when I'm listening to Lover, so it's a good song. Solid song. Listen to it. If you'd like to tell us how you rate this song, you can do it on Spotify. There's going to be a poll in the episode description. And you can also vote on our various social media platforms. We are on X, and we are on Instagram, and we are on Threads, and we are on TikTok, and we are on YouTube at
CBLU_podcast.
That's right. Go there, follow us, engage with the content. The content is created to be consumed. So consumeth it. Kimberly, what song are we talking about next week?
Enchanted.
That's right. Enchanted.
Enchanté.
From Speak Now and Speak Now TV. It's about the dude from Owl City. Spoilers!
That is spoilers.
Maybe I'll cut it. Probably not, though.
Nah, it's okay. It's at the end.
We'll get into that next week. But until then, thank you all so much for listening. Tell your friends that they too should listen. Because that'd be cool. Also, why not rate us 5 stars if you're so inclined? Or just not rate us. That's also fine.
Alan, tell your friends to listen to the podcast because we know Mac doesn't have any friends because Mac is just Madeline.
Right. Any other rating besides a 5-star rating is counter-revolutionary.
Oh, yes.
Please be advised. Thank you again for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Pod Gremlin may be here. Thanks for listening to Cowboys Like Us. Follow us on all platforms at CBLU_podcast. You can find us on Instagram, X, the zombie Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. We're now posting our episodes on YouTube. Head over there and like and subscribe. All of these links can be found in our link tree in the episode description. Thanks for supporting the pod. Y'all come back now, you hear?